Yo, what's going on, guys? Ron here, aka Neos, and today, guys, a lot's happened. So we have a new ban list that's in effect today, actually. I know I'm a little late on that train and a couple other things, but I figured I wanted to, with a lot of things happening and stuff like that, I wanted to cover everything in basically one go. So I'm gonna cover the format as it's developing right now because of the ban list. I'm gonna cover the ban list itself, and then I'm also gonna cover the uh, Mitsurugi Fiendsmith deck that I've been playing a lot of recently. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the screen real quick, and what we have here, right, is at the bottom here are in the side deck are all the newly banned cards, right? So we have Evilswarm Ouroboros, we have the Barrier Statue of the Earth, the Barrier Statue of the Fires, Archbeneficus Protos, Dimensional Barrier, Artifact Milnir, and then the Fossil Dyna. Um, I'm going to go ahead and cover the Dyna and the Barrier of Earth all in one go first. Dyna obviously being banned because of pure Mitsurugi, not needing a normal summon. You just normal this, and then you kind of lock your opponent. Very annoying. The Barrier Statue of the Earth does the exact same thing. Right? Instead of you not being able to special summon monsters, the Barrier Earth Statue says you can't special accept Earths. Right? So either way, trying to lock your opponent. Both can be searched off a Gallant. So they had to hit the Barrier Statue as well because otherwise you're just going to substitute obviously the Dyna for this, and that's really annoying. Same thing, we're going to go ahead and cover the Fire Statue since we're talking about the statues. This is being used mainly in stuff like Fire King, stuff like that, because you can search this off of the old Kieran. It searches, I think, any fire or dumps any fire, I think. And you could just reborn this off of like Promethean Princess repeatedly, stuff like that, locking your opponent. Very annoying, right? So it had to go. And then Mjolnir, obviously Crystron Canine was using this to lock your opponent. Again, I feel like this card just needs to be like ruling changed, or it needs to be like given like a slight errata. It just shouldn't mandatorily activate when there's no target. That would fix the problem, but banning it's also cool. It's fine with me. And then we also have Dimensional Barrier. Dimensional Barrier, obviously, probably the worst offender on this list. This card was just not okay. It locks you out of everything besides links. I've been talking about this card a lot. I think it needed to be banned. It's about time, so I'm happy with it. Thank God it's gone. Arch Nemesis Protos, this card should have never came back. It's a stupid card that lingers. It gives you easy access to Dark, which is the most played attribute, or the most supported attribute in the entire game. So yeah, you having free access to Dark, and then obviously anything else that's on the board is just it's too strong, especially when it lingers for so long and it puts you on having like Imperm or Valor. It's very annoying. And then the last card on this list is the Evilswarm Ouroboros. This is the only one on the list that I was kind of like, maybe yes, maybe no. I understand that Raziel looping this twice against you was really annoying, ripping two cards out of your hand. The issue was with like the Onomount Raziel was they were looping this twice and Protos locking you. So like they did this to hit the Onomount Raziel stuff, which I understand why, right? Double floodgating your opponent is really annoying when this isn't technically a floodgate and it forces a hand trap, right? Like let's say you have Imperm, it's gonna, no matter how you look at it, this card's gonna pull two from your hand if they have the combo. Because even if they go like effect to rip a card and you're like, okay, well I don't want them to rip a random card, so I'm gonna Imperm and or Valor it. You decide to do that, and then they just bring it back and they hand rip you again. So no matter what, it's pulling two cards from your hand, even if you can't stop it. So I get very strong. I can understand that. So, but yeah. Now I want to go over all the cards that are still legal that you can play as Floodgates, because you know if they're gonna, I want these to be known and I want them to be abused. That way Konami hits them faster. So by all means, you know, play these, right? So they can get banned. So first we have Colossus, Thunder Dragon, Thunder Monster. Pretty easy to make, to be honest. I still see this card, not as much as I used to. When it definitely came back, I saw it a lot. It's basically just a droll. But, you know, cards cannot be added from the main deck to your opponent's hand except by drawing them. So it's annoying, but, you know, so be it, right? It's not the worst. It's also not that big. right? It's only at 26. Even like Ouroboros is 2750. So, yeah, pretty small in terms of like boss monsters, but yeah, the floodgate effect is very strong. We have the two math mechs here. So I want to cover this one first. You can use 2 or more level 4 monsters to make this. This one says that you can detach 2 to 4 materials from this card, then activate the appropriate effect. If you do 2, you can add a math mech card from deck to hand. 3, you can add any level 4 from your deck to your hand. So instead of making Ouroboros, you could use this instead to search any Ryzeal or any Onomat that's or like Gaga Zubababa, whatever, that's a level 4 inherently. So that's really strong. But the main one is 4. You can add a 1 spell or trap from your deck to your hand. This is any spell or trap. It does not care. It does not care if it's a normal, a continuous, a counter. It just says spell or trap. It's generic. So you could search Solemn Judgment off of this, right? So if you want to, any of these floodgates that I have here, right, that are still legal, as you can see, we'll cover them in a second. Just know that you could search any of these spells or traps off of this card, right? So, and then we're going to go to Laplation. Laplation has the, it requires 3 level 4 monsters. Or if a math mech card or cards you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can detach material from this card instead. Doesn't matter. If this card is XZ summoned, you can detach up to 3 materials from it, then choose that many effects. You cannot choose the same effect twice, and you resolve them in the listed order, skipping any that were not chosen. So the first effect, so discard, detaching 1. Send a random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. Pretty good. Basically an Ouroboros. Right? And then 2, send a monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. 2 materials. Send 1 spell or trap your opponent controls. That is 3 materials, right? So if you do 1 material, basically you can just go ahead and do that. The only difference is that this has to be XZ summoned to do this. So if you look, it says if this card is XZ summoned, which if you look at Eclipse Twins, the Eclipse Twins here, this is a special summon. It does not treat it as a XZ summon here. So special summon 1 and attach the other's material, right? So you can't reborn this one off of the Eclipse Twins like you could with Ouroboros and making it a 2-turn thing. But you can still rip a card from your opponent's hand, and it's only 3 materials. So you have a replacement for Ouroboros, and then obviously, like I said, if you want to choose something else to search a floodgate, you can. Moving on, I'm going to talk about the monsters first here that are still legal. So the substitute for Mjolnir, if you would like, is Spell Canceller. This is a level 5 machine monster. So you can play it in Crystron Canine very easily. It fulfills all your things. It's a level 5. It's a machine. Whatever, right? You could use this to make, let's say they negate it or whatever. Something like that. It's fine. You can just either bring it back or use it as material for, like Nova into Infinity. It negates all spell effects that are on the field face up, and you cannot activate spell cards. So that goes for your opponent too. This is a 2-sided floodgate, but it's very easy for obviously you as the player to out this card, especially when your entire deck is level 5 machine monsters. Like I said, they could make this floodgate you, and then pass turn, and then they just make Nova into Infinity, which is very strong. So. On the other side of that, we have Arch Nemesis Incantos. This is a type. So special summon this card from your hand by banishing 3 monsters with different types from your graveyard and or face-up field. Cannot be destroyed by card effect. You can declare 1 monster type that is on the field. Destroy all monsters on the field with that type. Also until the end of the next turn, either player can special summon monsters with that type. So you get Dragon for free. And then obviously if you play if you can get a reptile on the field, you can completely lock out Mitsurugi. If you can get a beast on the field, you can completely lock out the yummies. There's a lot of different things that you can do. This is a dragon, right? This is a dragon. In the Rank 4 decks, this is Cyber, so you completely lock any Cyber deck out right now. There's a lot of different things that you can make with this. Banshee's a Pyro. So you, Banshee, searching the Nemesis flag or whatnot, you could call Pyro. Your opponent can't summon Pyros anymore. That completely kills the Ryzeals. They can't summon their lights anymore. As I said, it goes on from there, right? So, anyways, those are the 2 monsters that are still high floodgate threats at the moment. Moving on to that, we'll go to the spells actually. First we have the least powerful probably is the Soundproof. You have to activate this at the start of main. Main 1 specifically, and if you control no face-up synchro monsters, neither player can special summon a synchro monster until your opponent's end phase. Very strong. This completely locks out your opponent, especially like Yummy. They can chain to this originally, but after that, also this is not special. You cannot special summon. It doesn't say synchro. It says special summon. So even like the Yummies tagging out to bring back the other synchros, they cannot bring back synchros from the graveyard because it's a special summon. So, and then obviously we also have Gravekeeper's Inscription. Neither you can declare one of these effects. Neither player can activate cards or effects in the graveyard. Basically, it's a 2-turn. What's the card's name? Abyss Dweller. We have neither player can banish cards from the graveyard, so you can be a Lancey effect. And then you have the neither player can special summon monsters from the graveyard. Very strong. I had this activated against me last week or like 2 days ago, and luckily I went first. I was like, I'm going first, and I was like, okay, I won. The dude couldn't play into the board. Game 2, he was like, start of the main phase. He was like, activate. He's like, neither player can activate effects in the graveyard. I literally went, nah, bro, you got it. I was like, I'm not even gonna entertain that shit. It's fine, all cool. We'll just go next game. Game 3, again, built my board, couldn't prop it. This card is very annoying, but assuming that like if you have another way to play, or you can just be like, nah, bro, you got it. You can still play on the next turn after that because, you know, they have to be able to activate this as the main phase 1. So otherwise, not too bad. We also have Harpy's Featherstorm. You have to control a winged beast monster. But the thing is that this is a thrustable card, so you can search off a thrust, and then obviously there's like Castel. There's other, you know, winged beast monsters that you can do this to. Negate any monster effects your opponent activates, right? So very annoying. Floodgate. All of their monster effects are negated, no matter where they are as well. It's not just on the field; it's in hand, on the field, in the graveyard, in banishment. It was a stupid card. This card should not exist. This needs to be banned as well. And then we're gonna move on to the more fair floodgates. These are not total locks. I'm going to cover Black Oat first because Black Oat is probably the most fair. You declare a monster name. This turn, neither player can special summon that monster with that original name except from the graveyard. So this is really good. It doesn't hurt like Murakumo or like Mitsurugi stuff that bad because like if they call Murakumo, that's like, all right, cool, bro. I've literally like, okay. Use Mirror, you dump it from the regular ritual spell, and then you use Mirror to bring it back from grave. So you can play around this. However, the one from graveyard, you can neither player can activate the effects of that monster on the field with that original name is probably better actually, because you can just like banish this and call Snatchy, and then they can't synchro anymore. You can't Murakumo board wipe, you can't Murakumo hand rip, you can't Futsu special summon. You can't Cookie, you can't, you know, whatever you want to call, right? Maybe you call, like, Infinity. Like I said, whatever name you want to call. Moving on to another one that's more fair. Neither player can Confusion Summon. This is a continuous one that's very hard to search unless, obviously, it was off of, like, this card. But it's non-thrustable. It's only against Fusion. Again, it's really annoying against, like, Draco Tail, Branded, right? If you just, you know, activate this, but it's only it doesn't have a large encompassing floodgate across multiple different things like D-Barrier did, right? D-Barrier can hit Fusion, Xe, you know, everything besides Link. Speaking of that, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Archfiends, Simul. This turn, neither player can special summon monsters with the same card types, Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link that they already control, right? So after this activates, if you control a Link, you can no longer summon Link monsters. If you do not control 2 or more of the same card, Ritual, Fusion, Xyz, all Ritual, Fusion, Xe monsters, and Link monster you can control gain 500 attack. I mean, that's like the least important part. It does come up, but so they the floodgating effect is very strong. Being able to like your opponent fusion summons, they cannot fusion summon again if they control the fusion monster. This completely kills Branded. Like, you could go, like, they go make Albion effective fuse, and then you chain this, and they just fucking explode because they just lose their resources. It's very strong. So also this is they already control. So if I am reading this correctly, right? I want to make sure of this. Um, if they already control that, that means for the rest of the turn, I'm pretty sure they can't summon it again. Um, I don't think if you can remove it, I don't think that you have a way to get around it, right? Like, assuming, like, let's say, like, this was activated in main phase, like, against me, and let's say I had, like, for example, the Abawaq on the field, right? I could probably chain Abawaq to summon IP, but I couldn't, like, use IP's effect to summon another Link monster, because I already control a Link, right? So, like, it's like I said, it's a very good Link. It doesn't negate anything, by the way. So it just says, like, you can't summon these again. Which, against Yummy, this would be good, because they can't, like, put up a bunch of synchros, which is kind of good. But they can play around it. This can be played around a little bit. But, yeah, like I said. So, and then the last card that I want to cover is probably the most powerful, because it's also a thrustable target, and it has the biggest scaling range, is the Prison. If you control a face-up monster that was a tribute, ritual, or fusion summoned, until the end of your opponent's next turn, neither player can Synchro or Xyz summon. Synchro and Xyz monsters cannot attack. Also, their effects are negated. This is very good against Yummy. This is very good against Crystron. This is very good against K9. This is very good against a lot of, it doesn't hit Links or anything else like that. And then also this would be very good. You can use this as a Tsurugi player, and you could use it as a Draco Tail player. Obviously, Tribute, right? If you could Tribute summon a monster, right? Like, let's say you're playing a deck, you could Tribute normal summon if you haven't normaled yet, and that would count because it's a Tribute summoned monster. That's also possible. So this one is the most generic and most powerful at the same time. So this is probably the next one that needs to be banned besides, obviously, Harpy's Featherstorm. The only reason I have this above Harpy's, because you need a specific thing for this to be live, where this needs 3 things. Like, you have any of the 3, right? It's more generic, more accessible. You don't have to specifically make a certain type of monster. So, yeah. Outside of that, that's really everything that I wanted to cover. And now I want to cover what is the best deck right now. By far, hands down, without any discussion, is going to be Mitsurugi Yummy. Mitsurugi Yummy right now is the best deck. The only competition would probably be my deck, Mitsurugi Fiendsmith. Mitsurugi Fiendsmith and Mitsurugi Yummy both had the powerful effect of being able to play around or through Dimensional Barrier, right? Mitsurugi Yummy is more susceptible to Droll, where Mitsurugi Fiendsmith is not. Though Mitsurugi Yummy is a more powerful overall engine deck, right? It's got a overall higher, I wouldn't say higher ceiling, but higher ability to play, right? There's they both bridge back and forth very, very effectively, and they are very consistently able to put up a board, right? Where you might have issues with Mitsurugi Fiendsmith having a little bit more awkward hands, but besides that, right, everything, like I said previous, right? So the Mitsurugi Yummy deck is by far the best, right? So I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'll go ahead and leave. I believe I have a Mitsurugi Yummy deck. Yeah, I do here. So I think probably the most powerful one right now would unfortunately be Triff's 60 card pile, which I actually don't have here at the moment. Go ahead and I'll just get some of this stuff out of the way. But I feel like playing something like this would also be very strong. 40 cards, you have access to the Sky Striker stuff. You have access to the Yummy stuff. You could probably not play a Croaky if you didn't want to. I think Talents is really good right now, but that's really a side point. Also, this is an older deck, so I would probably cut this and we play Marsh instead. Marshmallow. You want to play Marshmallow here. He is by far the best Marsh, or the best Yummy, I mean. So you would definitely want to play him. Go ahead and group these up better. I think 2 Cookie is fine. You could play 1 Cookie, but you just kind of want to see names. You could definitely get away with like 1 Cookie, 1 Lolly, and then have these 3, because these are by far the best, like I said. So you could do something like this, just to toy around and whatnot. But yeah, being able to bridge back and forth is incredibly strong. The Triff deck is very strong now that a lot of the floodgates are gone. I believe playing like 60 card engine pile decks is actually probably the best way to play at the moment. Playing high impact hand traps like Imperm, Ashen Fua would probably be the only things that you would really need to play. You could play Talents, Cross Out, Call By if you wanted to. Um, Outside of that, I wouldn't play anything else. I don't think you need it. I think Widow Anchor is really good right now. This is basically a searchable imperm that this deck can use. It's very strong. It can also take the control away from your opponent, so you can use it for like link plays, whatever, stuff like that. But yeah, I think that this deck by far, it has so much engine, it has so much gas, it has different ways to break the board, it has a lot of stuff that you just have to interact with, that if you don't, you lose. It doesn't have a definitive choke point. Everything's an extender, especially with Miracle Raven now. This card is absolutely broken. I also think playing this at like 2 is super strong, because or even at 3, because if you see 2 in hand, they contribute off of each other. This card's completely unaffected. It's a level 1 that you can bridge with Yummy. This card is just like the ultimate support for this deck. It is super broken. And then you can also play Preparations, which actually allows you to search a level 7 or lower ritual monster, which you can search this, or you can search Burger, right? Burger, and then you have, not this Burger, which you can get access to the Chef. Which one is it? It's a level 1, I know that. It's a level 1, and it's a fairy. Pendulum effect. Apply. The Nouvelles, yeah, there it is. So this is very good, because this can get you to this can get you to this can get you to this, and then this is like a wombo combo, because you can summon this, you can add this, you scale this to, and then you activate its effect, tribute this. This goes to the extra deck face up. It puts itself back in the scale. Then it uses its effect targeting this. They both this comes out in defense, and then you switch this from either attack to defense or defense to attack. Doesn't matter. And then you have 2 level 1s. You can make Link Garibo. Let's see, filters, reset. Yeah, you make it the Link Karibo. You don't actually even need to play Gravity Controller. You just make Link Karibo, and then yeah, you can actually cut this too and play IP. There we go. Okay, if I could just do it right. And then what you do is you can use any of the extra bodies plus the Herald to make the IP, and then that's full combo. And then you also play Sorrow Cat. Because now you can recycle your Herald, so you don't have to play Metal March. And then you actually don't even need to play Banshee, really, if you don't want to for this. You could cut this and cut this package, which is very strong. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of work that can be done to this deck, and obviously main decking Thrust is just super broke. So probably something like this would be just, like I said, incredibly broken. So Thrust is super broken right now. This is, like I said, there's just so much engine. This can search you one of the best. This is engine and a board breaker. It's non-once per turn. It draws cards whenever you have a bunch of spells. You play a bunch of spells. I could keep going, but like I said, this deck is just incredibly broken at the moment. So, anyways, so I'll go ahead and save this. And then I want to go ahead and talk about the deck that I'm thinking about playing, which is going to be this engine pile. So I think Bystials are just super broke right now. Bystials are really good against Yummy. Bystials are really good against the Mitsurugi stuff, and that is the best deck right now, is Mitsurugi Yummy. The Crystron stuff can be hit. Some of the stuff you can banish it. Some of them are darks. Some of them are lights. A lot of the Crystron stuff. As you can see it here, so we have a lot of waters. But I do believe they have darks as well, if I remember correctly. Maybe not. I guess I'm mistaken. I apologize. Never mind, they're all waters. Could have sworn they had a dark that was... I thought it was this one. I thought this was a dark. But they're all waters, so never mind. Not necessarily good against that, but against K9, I think it's okay. I think there's some... because I know they're mostly Earths, but... For example, Lantern and Jokel are dark. So if they Jokel and then they get Lantern and they go Lantern to bring back, you can banish the Jokel, so the Lantern dies on its effect, because they usually bring back Jokel off of this, um, and then so that's very strong. Also, just having their if you cleared their extra deck monsters, those are obviously banishable. So is Jax, stuff like that. And then obviously with the machines using and the Crystron stuff, for example, like the Cyber Dragons, you have like Nova, Infinity, those are also targets. Also with the rank 6s, you can play this Wallow, founder of the Drudge Dragons. It's a quick effect. So monsters that you control gain a turn to attack and defense for each card in your opponent's graveyard. So this can actually make your monsters like super big and help you OTK. Um, uh, you can target one card in your opponent's graveyard and detach one or two materials from this card, then apply the appropriate effect. One, you can shuffle it back into the deck, which is very strong. This can really screw up, for example, like, I'm trying to think of the name. I just had it pulled up. Lupus from the Canines. You can, Lupus effect, you go, Lupus, go back in the deck, brother. Phew, be gone. You can shuffle Yummy stuff back into the deck so that they can't bring it back from the graveyard. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can, this checks Murakumo. Like, they go like effect to bring it back, or they go effect tribute it, and then they go, before it gets the effect to search, you can just go, and just shuffle that boy back into the deck. If you do two, if it's a monster, you can special summon it, or face up or face down position to your field, and if it is not, you can set it to your field. So if they have like a really strong spell or trap, like let's say like a Floodgate, you could steal their Floodgate with this card and then use it. This card is absolutely broken, and I want to play it. So also you have Lars. Lars is a generic Omni Negate. Target a card on the field, and then negate its effects until the end turn. So this is a way to check Floodgates. This is a way to check Board Breakers. This is a way to check monsters. This is a way to check spells, traps. Generically, it's very good. So I think both of these are viable options. I would say Wallower. Wallow is probably your best option overall in this format. A lot of decks are playing in the graveyard. Crystron's playing in the graveyard. Yummy's playing in the graveyard. Fiendsmith's playing in the graveyard. Not a lot of people are playing Fiendsmith, but you get the point. Mitsurugi's playing in the graveyard. Memento is seeing some play. Memento is a graveyard-based archetype. Stuff like that, right? So I would say Wallow is probably your best option. And then, again, you can play all of the other stuff here, right? So we have, like, Fiendsmith's Lacrima, Desiree, Abawa Q, again, a very strong card. All the Fiendsmith stuff. We have the links. Hold on, I'm missing Dynamundo. Dynamundo is obviously a great card. Being targeted, non-destructive removal. This is an incredible out to Mirror Jade now that Branded is going to be incredibly powerful now with their new spells. I will cover Branded probably in a different video, because that needs a whole video by itself, because that deck is now incredibly unfair and probably incredibly broken and incredibly good. And well, it is not probably, it is incredibly broken and incredibly good now. They have everything that they need. Branded Fusion at it too. Branded Fusion probably needs to go back to 1 now, because of just how powerful it is, because now they have protection with like Aluber and the pop, right? So it's hard, you can't target it, negate Aluber anymore for the most part, because if they have the spell, they're gonna dump a like Titaniclad for cost, which means they're gonna get a search or a special in the end phase. I think it's a special. I don't quite remember. But they're going to get guaranteed follow-up in the end phase, and then they're going to get the guaranteed search for like Branded Fusion, or if they already had it, they can search something else like Lost, which is, again, just super broken. Lost also probably needs to be banned. That card is definitely not okay. Not being able to respond to stuff is, again, like it's got a Floodgate effect attached to it. I don't think that's... With them banning Floodgates, they definitely need to ban that card too, so... But outside of that, guys, I think that's going to go ahead and be it. I do hope that y'all enjoyed the video. I know I haven't posted in a while, and then so I apologize for that. I've been playing a lot and going to locals, but a lot of the games have been just like really terrible. Either I brick, my opponent bricks, or literally like my opponent's like, I'm dropping, or it's just like I'll literally have like one or two like games and that's it. And it's just they're just not that good. So, or like I misplay really bad or my opponent misplays really bad. So, like I said, it's just been like really ugly games and stuff like that. So, whenever I have better content to bring to you, I'll definitely bring it. But until then, yeah, I'm just gonna just play and try to have fun and like try to figure out the rest of this format. So, but anyways, guys, like I said, I hope that y'all did enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you know when I post more content. And yeah, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.